Chris, g'day. How are you, mate? Well?
Good, mate. I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Thanks for hopping on. Everyone, Chris is the owner of 6 IBLs in the O'Brien franchise. And are they all up in the northern part of Queensland?
All up the East Coast, really. We're, some up North Queensland, some Southeast Queensland, some Central Queensland, and some mid-North Coast New South Wales. So,
mate, you keep yourself very busy. I know that. So we'll keep it short and sweet. The reason why I wanted to bring you on is you've been a user of LANA software. You've had it implemented. And I just wanted everyone else in the group to see where you came from, what you're doing, and so on. So, sure. Mate, thank you for jumping on.
No worries.
We'll kick into it. So before you started using LANA, and for those people that don't know what LANA is, it's a CRM. You were natively using, obviously, SIMPRO in the business. Mm-hmm. What were the challenges or the reasons you were looking for a solution and you chose LANA?
I guess, John, for us is we have a sales team. So with the sales team, we were using SIMPRO as our predominant quoting software. And SIMPRO is a bit behind the times, probably, when it comes to managing, especially if you've got a lot of leads. If you've got a few leads here and there, it's probably not that hard to manage where they're all at, and we were using status codes and things to sort of I guess compartmentalize our quotes, what stage they were at, and different things, which it worked, but it was very cumbersome. As an owner of the business, I was concerned that the huge amount of money we were spending attaining these leads, there was a lot of them being cherry picked by the sales team to which was the easiest. And I guess I wanted the peace of mind to know that I can automate a lot of the initial conversation. So I know those leads that are paying huge money for are being worked to the extent that I would require them to be. I would like them to be worked to know at least see if anything can come out of them.
Yeah, so there's a juice out of every inquiry that comes in. Correct.
And probably the other major thing was I liked the organization of the sales teams. Sales guys can tend to be a bit disorganized, especially if they run off their feet. It's just a natural trait of salespeople. They tend to be people, and they tend not to be as organized as some other people in the business. So I think giving that structure to their day and their pipeline, so they're on top of things. They're following customers up effectively. They can focus on the ones that are the hottest quotes or leads, and their time's being utilized correctly. Probably the other part that I wanted to implement, also another key factor, is just consistency across the sales process. When you've got different people, everyone sells differently. And we had situations in different businesses that customer journey was slightly different or vastly different.
Yep.
So getting that consistency in that process to see where people were falling off the pipeline was really handy for me.
No, you made some awesome points there. And before I move on, you mentioned a couple of key ones that can be easily missed. That peace of mind of knowing where and how your salespeople, whether teams have salespeople or not, but knowing where all your customers are, and the fact that you've got visibility of that is what LANA obviously is providing you. But also, as you mentioned too, consistency of process to make sure that we are following a process and nothing's slipping through the cracks. Correct. And so obviously, and the other really big one, which I always emphasize to everyone, is that speed to response, because the statistics are that you've got a 391% more likeliness with a direct text message from a website inquiry to convert that into an actual job. So speed to reply, if you don't have a sales team, LANA is obviously offering that for you and your group, right?
Correct. And I think another really beneficial aspect of the platform, having all of your communication in one conversation history with that customer is really helpful, especially when it comes to disputes and things like that. Going back and listening on the calls, what salespeople promised the customer, and what time that we booked the appointment in, and all that sort of stuff just comes really handy in the dispute process. Yeah.
Yeah, something you want to avoid, but something that's super important. Yeah, just being able to have a track record of who said what and when, and being able to track it right back, and that's certainly awesome. So I imagine, Chris, I know you well. For those that know you well, you're very, very, I suppose, very particular, and you've got an expectation. You would have considered a few options. What was the main reason for going for LANA over potentially other CRMs or messaging systems?
I guess we'd been looking into like a platform. We knew we needed to do something for some time.
Yep.
We had several, a couple of salespeople leave us in a very short period of time. So that was like the final kick in the butt to sort of do something. But the reason, probably the key differentiator with LANA was the integrations with our current systems, i.e. SIMPRO / LaserPro, is a big one. One thing we found in a lot of tech platforms that we were trying to marry up, talking together since this invention of APIs where they can all talk to each other.
Yeah,
they can always do one or two things. They can't do all of them. So I think LANA just sort of met more of those, ticked a lot more of those boxes for us to make that customization not as I didn't need to customize it as much, if you know what I mean. So it sort of had already solved a lot of those integration problems that in other platforms we were having to either pay for that customization or figure out or change our process to accommodate it. It never really, no matter who I spoke to, and I can't tell you how many conversations I had, I'd get like an hour into the conversation. At the start of the process, it'd be like, yep, we can do this, 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 and this. And then they go away and they come back and they're like, oh, by the way, we actually can't do these parts now. Well, that's not what you told me originally. So LANA kind of had solved those problems already.
Yeah, I think if I was to, when you're one size fits all CRM or messaging platform, you can't understand the needs of a business like yours, particularly, if you're a SIMPRO / LaserPro user, having a team that knows cost centers, knows your contact customer types, can automatically know that you have the quote, the job, and the invoicing sections, and the fact that we've integrated it. That's when it's all you do. I think you tend to get a bit better at it than if I was serving dentists and restaurants. You just can't specialize enough to know what your team needs, right?
Correct. And I think another key sort of thing to mention there is we're a complex situation. So we run 3 service lines out of 6 IBLs. So it's like, and like we had each service line. So we have our service, like electrical side of the business, just electrical servicing, aircon servicing, things like that. Then we've got our aircon service line and our solar service line. They're all very different service line, very different sales processes that require different touch points for different reasons. So being able to customize our workflows to tailor that was really difficult for some of the other guys. So
yeah, well, I know what your system looks like, and you are a power user of LANA, that's for sure. But I would say this, for those out there that literally just have a man in a van, they would be bread and butter and easy. That'd be
very much so.
Very easy for us to implement compared to the facilities that you needed. So talk us through a couple, if you don't mind, the integrations that you've got with your SIMPRO. Do you utilize our quote follow-ups? Do you utilize our invoicing debt collection? Can you tell us?
So again, because of the 3 different service lines, 3 different sales processes, just in a nutshell, obviously, as you know, my workflows are quite complex. But for service work, so electrical, air conditioning service work, just maintenance work, it absolutely follows up our quotes for us, which is really handy. We're finding it really hard to get consistency in that from our team, because everyone just gets so busy in the office and just doesn't get done. So we've wasted the resource if we don't follow it up. So whether it be the tradie that quoted it or the admin person that did the quote up. Air conditioning, that's not followed up. The quotes aren't followed up because the salespeople are following them up. Same with solar. Solar and aircon are similar sales processes. But it's doing all the initial, because there's more leads in those ones, it's doing all the initial following up of customers to get them into their house to do an appointment to try to sell them. So that's a huge time saver. And then the salesperson takes over from there in those two categories. And then so that the salesperson's doing the follow-up, but LANA then takes over the job communication after it turns to a contract. But just to, things like our technicians booked in and things like that, our technicians on the way, all the lead up stuff to keep the customer keep the customer communicated to, and then keep them coming back. So we've got automation set up where it follows customers up in 4 months and 6 months and 12 months to sort of stay in touch with these people. And like, we've spent so much time gathering them as a customer, so much time and effort trying to concentrate on that repeat business then. And LANA does all that automated. I don't have to do any of that. So, and then cross-selling the other service lines we're offering to, if a solar customer gets offered air conditioning and electrical services. So,
awesome. I mean, that's the intention of LANA, right? It's nurturing, and it's also to reactivate that customer to come back and keeping you top of mind. One thing I'll highlight there, that even if you don't have a sales team like Chris, and Chris, if you're aware, obviously LANA can communicate to customers, but it can also create tasks.
Of course, yeah.
We're creating a task for a sales guy to say, hey, it's been 3 days or 3 weeks since you've spoken to John, give him a call. And then even if you wanted to have a senior notification to Chris, the boss, to say, hey, sales guys aren't following up the notification when I'm reminding them, we can have that management alert if you're not aware. Okay. Yep. Because I do that with my team as well. Awesome. Cool. So I won't drag it up much longer. I mean, realistically, anyone, you are a power user of it, but for someone considering looking at a CRM, what would you recommend in terms of, what's the biggest benefit that you've seen as it is that, tell me, I won't fill in the blanks. What's your benefit saying?
I guess any tech project, when you're bringing technology into your business, is always a process where you gotta put a little bit of time into it, right? So I recommend doing that. Put some good critical thinking and thought into what you want to, where your pain points are and what you want to solve. Talk to John and the team. The product itself is very customizable. I'm still making changes and adding automations that I think, like, my mind goes, I could really automate that. I don't need to do that manually. I'm still doing that now. So I'm always tweaking it. But my point is, and I've said this to yourself and Shashil before, John, like, you guys have a product that can do, a very specific task, or it can do a lot of things. It's a very broad service offering yourself. So, like, it's your creativity is probably the only thing limiting you a lot of the time as the business owner taking it on. So I guess talk to people that are using it, see how they're using it. Have people call me if they want a demo of ours. They can steal bits and pieces of ours if they want. Go for it. I'm happy for them to share my Canva workflow design document with them if they can pick it pieces if they want. But I guess, probably because it's such a broad, like, it's such a you can use as little or as much as you want of it.
Absolutely. My
advice is to do a lot of critical thinking, speak to other people using it to get some ideas on how you think you might want to use it, and then do some thinking, and then use your team to execute that to get it up and running.
Thanks, Chris. And for those people that are listening to this far, thank you. I'll say this: we do have a plug and play solution that's been mapped out completely from your first inquiry across every channel, right through to your invoicing, lead quote, and your jobs. It has been mapped out. One thing you probably don't know, Chris, is I use LANA internally for recruitment and hiring staff.
Same.
So,
yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's such a central hub for so many things. And obviously, you're one of the initial AI voice people as well. One last thing, software is software, but it isn't anything without an implementation. And you did say that we do continue to customize it. Just before you go, what's it been like working with your account managers and setting up and implementing your system for your businesses?
Very, very helpful. I try to not bother them with every tiny little question. I try to fix it myself, or figure it out. Use the do-it-yourself help, the areas at the top there where I can't remember what it's called, like help guide or something.
We have a knowledge base in there that can guide you to all the elements. We're putting an AI to teach you parts of it as well at the moment.
Yeah, but basically what I do is if there's some little pain points that I'm struggling with, often I'll send them an email when there's a bunch of them are built up and say, hey, have you got any solutions? How do you propose that I do this? And because the platform itself is always upgrading and there's always extra features getting added to it, that it's probably good to just constantly be thinking of it and asking those questions. Is there a way we can do this? Because I'll just say straight, no, it's not possible, or yes, it is possible, we can do this.
We'll add it to the ideas board and get it done within a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I'd advise there.
Well, Chris, thank you. And if I wanted to let you in on something, I don't know if you've had a look yet, but we have a Xero integration as well.
I didn't know that.
Activated this week. So
there you go.
I know you'll be on top of us for that. Chris, thank you for joining us. A really pleasure. And anyone reaching out, speak with Chris, and the team are always happy to help. Thanks for joining us today, mate.
No worries, mate. Thanks.